Hi guys, George here again at Optics Warehouse, and today I've got something I think you guys are going to get a lot out of, and that is our sort of 2025 or halfway through 2025 roundup of our digital scopes. So I've selected what I think are the top performers. It does happen to be most of what we sell, but the purpose of this video is to give you guys a side-by-side comparison so you guys can make your own minds up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the latest and greatest. It's going to be targets from about 10 to 80 odd meters and the footage side by side by brand. And you guys in real time, it's all at the same time of day, the same light. All I do is zoom in on the target, come back out, make sure it's in focus. And so you guys can see the resolution difference, the field of view difference, and the overall image quality. What I would say is on those videos, a couple things to take note of or look at is how quickly they go into focus, how easy it is to find that focus. A couple caveats in that it's not 100% representative of what you see, because you don't see it on a screen, your phone screen monitor or your laptop monitor. You're seeing it through the screens in the scopes themselves. So the tests as well at 80 meters. To try and give you guys a more objective measure, I use this resolution chart and this bench rest target. The resolution chart, it's on some Xerox printer, it prints in super fine detail, used for testing all sorts of optical devices. Kind of looks like when you go for your eye test and stuff like that. So it gives you an idea of the sharpness. And then the bench rest target, one, you've got the fine detail, but also you've got some sort of like pastel colours on there that can be quite hard to pick up. So it gives you an idea of the colour rendition as well. So the scopes that are going to be used in this test, we're going to start with the Hick Micro. We've got the Alpex A50T, the original Alpex. Then the Alpex 4K, the first 4K Alpex. I'm filming without the laser range finding one, but it doesn't make a difference on the image quality. And then the new Alpex Lite. I don't have it here today because we had to give it back for testing. Then we move on to the Zeuluses. I use the 5-20 non-LRF, again the same image quality as the LRF version, and then the 3-12 Zeulus. Then we move to the Pard Night Stalkers. Use the 70mm and the 100mm. The difference between the two being this is a 5.6 base mag and the 100 is an 8x base mag. I found that one particularly interesting, having such a high base mag. I think that yields some interesting results. And then last but not least, the Sightmark Wraith Max 4K. One thing to note as well, so obviously I've seen the footage, and that this one is probably the least representative of what you're going to see because it's on a lot smaller screen. It's just as good a quality, just a lot smaller. And that's the only thing to bear in mind really. So without further ado, here's the Hick Micro footage. So as you can see here, got the Alpex A50T, the original, the Lite, and the original 4K. And you can see a clear evolution in the footage. Starting off with our rat target, it's about 10 meters or so away. And moving out to a rabbit, go to about 20 meters. And I'm going to repeat this across all the targets here. Just finding them and then zooming in on them, keeping it in best of focus as I can. Hopefully showing the difference in image quality so you guys can make your own minds up. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I say it's about you guys being able to make your own minds up. There might be a couple little cuts here and there, that's just keeping everything more in time with each other, and that because we do just go to the same targets each time. I would as well just say pay attention to how much I'm focusing each image. That might, I find that could be quite helpful to each other. Now we've got the resolution chart test with all three of these, and I think this demonstrates the evolution of the optics really well. That's about 80 yards away. Sorry, 80 meters. And now we move on to the Zuluses. Again, it's all at the same time of day. And again, I think the main things to pay attention to are how quickly I'm getting the images in each in focus, and field of views, things like that. But again, it's here for you guys to make your own minds up with it. Again, it might be just a little out of sync. It's just trying to get it all to finish and end at the same time as each other, that's all. But it does go all through the same targets with each scope. I think something to mention as well is you can see as well some of the algorithms and that working overtime trying to colour correct things. As stated before, I've just taken these out of the box and turned them on. I've done nothing in the settings. This is just as they are shipped to you. As well, some of these scopes are going to do better than others on the resolution chart, purely out of the magnifications they have. And now we're on to the pards. These are the Night Stalkers. The Night Stalker 100 does have a very limited field of view because it's starting at 8 mag, but when we move out that a little bit further, I think we start seeing the benefit of that. And also something to note as well, with all digital scopes, the higher the base mag, the less digital zoom it's using when it gets up to the higher mag. So in theory, you should see less pixelation. But especially with the pards, this isn't necessarily representative of what you see because you look at a round screen. So you actually see even less field of view with the pards. Now moving on to the resolution chart, I think that 100mm bar should do quite well here. And as well on that right hand target, you can see there's colours in there. It's a Benchpress UK target that I've printed off. And I think it shows, because you've got the pale pastel colours, I think it shows the detail quite well. Now onto the Sightmark Wraith. This is the only one that gets the screen all to itself because it's the only one version that we currently sell. And to be honest, I think this, for a entry-level price point, I think this performed really well. One thing to note though is when you're looking at it, this has the smallest screen in the eyepiece of any that we've looked at so far. So it's not quite as large an image as this when it's actually on your rifle, but still Very, very impressed with it. It's also probably one of the ones with the widest magnifications. It starts at 4 and it does end at 32. So it's got the same top end magnification as the PARD 100, but a lower base mag. I think as well, this scope shows, even though it's an entry level scope, it's a 4K, and just how much night vision scopes have evolved in quite a short space of time. You know, even entry level units have very good resolution that any of these targets would have been easily shootable with. In a sense, it's kind of reassuring. You know, for the most part, you're not going to go wrong with any of these scopes. It's just really down to your personal preference, your use case, and your budget. Just get it focused there. And final resolution chart image here. I hope you guys have found this one enjoyable and hope mostly informative. As I say, it's all about giving you guys the information you need to be able to make your own choice. If you have more questions, by all means comment them down below or get in touch, and I'll see you next time.